another one.
So this one says, new job, large company. The PM wants to force, I repeat, they want to force BDD. What should I use? Cucumber? Playwright with Cucumber? Any other options? Like the title says, I started a new job and the PM really thinks that behavior driven development is the shiznick. I know nothing about it, but have seen various frameworks for it. Does anyone have any recommendations on which to use? I'm kind of partial to Playwright anything because that was what my previous job used. Is Playwright with Cucumber BDD worth checking out, or is Cucumber the main player and shouldn't even look elsewhere? That is an absolutely stunning question, right? So, what I would say is that you should always, and I repeat, you should always be looking to investigate new libraries, new repos. I mean, on our Thursday night streams, we're doing 3-in-1, right? We're doing Selenium, Cypress, and Playwright all on the same website so we can level up and get better skills, right? But then in the morning shows, we're doing Python with BDD, well, via Behave, right, on the OpenAI challenge. So there are so many different options and things that we can use, and I say, like, never limit your learning. You can, it's as easy as going to getting an online course, and then you need to get that online coaching, because a lot of times we get these online courses and we don't know what to do with them. That's why you need that's why you need one-on-one coaching, right? Or you can get some additional information in the Tech Coach Ralph Patreon, right? Because you have this information, but you don't know how to use it, right? And that's where I feel that need that you have, right? But that being said, I think, like, I've for a long time I thought that BDD was pretty cool, pretty awesome, but it's always been hard for developers to adopt it. Some of them, like a lot of developers, they're stuck in their ways, but it is what it is. However, being able to use it in at least a QA environment, seeing like how we write our feature files in a logical manner, right? Like, it's so easy to read, and then we implement, because the implementation is just like regular code, whether you're using Python, Playwright, JavaScript, Java, C#, whatever the case, it doesn't really matter. What matters is the feature file is easily to read and understand. Anyone can read it. Okay, this makes perfect sense. And then you are implementing the, oh my goodness. And then you are implementing the code, the steps, right? In order to be able to, like, navigate through the test plan, or execute the test, right? So I like it a lot, right? I think it's very helpful. It's very easy to understand. I know not, like, it hasn't been adopted as a lot of people would have anticipated that it would have been adopted. But here's the thing, right? There's so many insert driven development, right? So there's data driven development, there's test driven development, which is I'm a fan of. There's test driven development. There is behavior driven development. There's so many different driven developments that it can be quite overwhelming, right? And then not only that, you have to get buy-in from everyone who's working on the project. So on your own, you might be able to do test driven development, or you might be able to do data-driven development, or you might be able to do behavior-driven development. But if you're working on a team of people and they're just not that into it, you have an uphill battle to convince them that this is something that we should do, right? I remember back in the days, I'm like, hey, we should try out test-driven development. But guess what? Just because I'm saying we should try it out, I'm in QA. I don't really do the development, right? So the developers might not want to undertake that task, and because they might not know how to do it, or they might feel that it slows them down, or that it's too hard. Who knows what the case may be, right? But I would always throw it out there, because they have to write the unit test anyway. So, but it's just something that wasn't really adopted, and I'm like, there's only so much I can say, because I'm not the one who's actually writing the development code, I'm doing the automation code. That's one thing, but the actual development code, that is a totally different thing, which I don't have that much say so over it. I don't have any say so over it. Like, if it doesn't work, then I'm like, hey, something's not working. We need to go back and fix it and stuff like that. But the way that they approach it, I can only give some level of recommendation, but even with that, not too much. All right. So that is that's the thought behind it, right? And that's why, like, if you have the opportunity to learn BDD and the PM is pushing it, it's probably because it's easy for the PM to understand and for the stakeholders to understand. Because here's the thing, right? When BDD was first coming out, right? The idea of BDD was that it was a document that was easy to understand between the business and the developers, right? A lot of time we have these complicated requirements and stuff like that where the business and the developers, they are not on the same page. So the business, they want a banana, and the developers create a cat, right? Because we're not on the same page. So the intention of BDD was to put us on the same page. So we write easily to understand requirements, and then we take those requirements, right, the feature file, and we build the application based on those requirements. So with Cucumber, there was a way that you could just generate the test files, right? Like your steps and stuff like that. So based on the feature file, it would go ahead and create the steps and stuff, and then you just like start plugging in. And it was actually an approach to doing TDD, right? So you'd create your feature file, and then based on the feature file, you would generate the steps file, and then as you would say, okay, this is the expected results of this step, right? Now we have to build the code that's going to satisfy that step passing, and then you just go from there. That was the cadence that it was supposed to follow. From what I've seen, that hasn't really picked up, but I think that is a great opportunity to try something new, to learn. I wouldn't fight it. And guess what? If it doesn't work, then you can give feedback on why it's not the best tool to use. But if you're new and you're not familiar with it, go into it with open heart and open eyes and open mind, right? See if that's something that can help you have a better understanding and relationship with the product manager or project manager, whichever one that PM stands for in this case, and with the stakeholders, because your number one goal is customer satisfaction. And if this is going to help towards customer satisfaction, then I think you should invest the time into it to see if it's actually worthwhile. And if it's not, you give that feedback saying, these are the issues that we had with it, and then you go from there, right? But you're a team, and work together as a team to find a common goal, a common solution. The product owner or the product manager or the project manager, they have the best interest of the customer in mind, and you should as well, all right? So just putting that out there. Hopefully you found that helpful and useful, but we're going to wrap this question up.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.